Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. So, guys, I hope you're having a good Saturday night. Here I am in front of a computer making video. Yeah, no, really. Taking it easy today. So, as I was taking it easy, I've been listening to these started to listen to Brazilian channels. And as it turned out, the Brazilian president, Bolsonaro, who was a far right person, a former president that is, was arrested. Why was he arrested? He was arrested because he was caught trying to remove his ankle bracelet. So guys, this is I grew up in Brazil, like I'm Brazilian. I don't think it's controversial to say that Brazil is known for corruption in a lot of ways, right? It's kind of, but Brazil uh, arrested him, Bolsonaro, after he tried to do something so very similar to January 6th. Okay. And so this is a situation where Brazilians have done something about Bolsonaro. Meanwhile, the US has done nothing about Trump, nothing significant, right? I mean, he's been indicted and such, but he's never gone to prison. So, okay, so, and many of you have actually asked me, I don't think I've ever done a video about Bolsonaro, probably because it's almost like, is it too close to home? But this was really interesting, not just because of this, but because it's been reported, and I'll share with you in Brazilian news channels that Trump asked I think it was Friday, right? Because so this happened today, Saturday, and I'll show you her interview. So so he asked, "Is there any Brazilian new journalists around?" And this woman identified herself as Brazilian. And he pulled her aside and said, "Tomorrow there will be a big news tomorrow, today, right?" And so what does that mean? That means that Trump knew of Bolsonaro's attempt to escape. So of course, he was trying to remove his ankle bracelet because he was trying to escape, right? So that is what I wanted to say. So what I want to know, because guys, there's this other thing where we know that the far right worldwide wants to create this new world order where it gets Europe, China gets the whole area of sphere of influence over there, and the U.S. gets all of North and South America. I'm actually not kidding. Okay, Brazil is obviously very, very important strategically in South America for many reasons. So I wouldn't put it past Trump to try to change the government. And we know that Elon Musk has been in I wouldn't say fight. Remember, he was after the Brazilian judge who told him who was about to kick out Twitter from Brazil until he gave the names of people. Like he wouldn't allow the Brazilian government to have access to information about these people, some people that are of course far right, right? So it's really very, I find it interesting. So it'll be an interesting thing to look at because it's yet another thing that shows what Trump has been up to. Okay, so let's get started. I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and only the good, and so it is. All right. Okay. So let's get started. Okay, so let's read here. Fearing he would flee, police in Brazil arrest Jair Bolsonaro. The arrest came days before the former president was expected to be ordered to begin a 27-year prison sentence for staging a failed coup. And when I read this, it's crazy, right? That Brazil is doing something about Bolsonaro when we couldn't do something significant about Trump. Anyway, so the police in Brazil arrested former President Jair Bolsonaro on Saturday amid fears he might escape house arrest to avoid serving a 27-year year prison sentence for a failed coup plot, according to a Brazilian court order. Mr. Bolsonaro, a right-wing politician who led Brazil from 2019 to 2022, was sentenced in September after being convicted of overseeing a plan to cling to power after losing his bid for re-election. The Brazilian authorities were closely watching Mr. Bolsonaro, who had been wearing an ankle monitor since August, at his home in Brasília, the capital. Alexandre de Moraes, the Supreme Court justice overseeing the case, had deemed him a flight risk. Mr. Bolsonaro had not begun serving his sentence because court until recently was reviewing his appeals. He was detained by federal police officers Saturday morning. It was a preventative measure to protect his safety and maintain public order before a demonstration planned by his supporters in front of his home, according to a top police official with direct knowledge of the situation who spoke anonymously to discuss a confidential case. A Supreme Court order authorizing the arrest, which was seen by the New York Times, said Mr. Bolsonaro's electronic ankle monitor had been tampered with just after midnight on Saturday. The tampering, the court order said, showed that Mr. Bolsonaro intended to break his ankle monitor and escape, facilitated by the tumult caused by the demonstration. In August, the police said they had seized a document suggesting that Mr. Bolsonaro had planned to seek asylum in Argentina last year, shortly after the authorities carried out a sweeping operation targeting the former president, seized his passport, and arrested some of his close allies. Days after the operation, Mr. Bolsonaro spent 2 nights at the Hungarian embassy in Brazil in an apparent bid for asylum in a country led by a right-wing ally, Prime Minister Orban. In an interview earlier this year, Mr. Bolsonaro refused to explain why he slept in the embassy. Okay, so, all right, so now this is the news from the New York Times. Now I'm going to share, this is interesting, a video that has the information, like it has really cool footage because it's also, guys, exciting to us because one day, I'm going to ask about it. One day we're going to do the same here, okay? People celebrating, people throwing champagne, and it's kind of funny, I have to say. So this is okay. Can I play this, please? Mhm. So this is a car with a megaphone. So he's saying, "Get up, time to celebrate. Start drinking. Bolsonaro has been arrested." Was so it's so funny. Oh my God. So one day we'll do it here, huh? So okay. Uh, so this is a video by a Brazilian creator, and this says, "Did Trump know that Bolsonaro would try to escape?" So just some interesting scenes here of people, like I just want you guys to watch it because it's so encouraging for us because one day we will do that. So these women are in front of the headquarters of the Brazilian Federal Police, the equivalent of the FBI, where he is arrested right now. And they have champagne. A parte boa é que pouca gente significa. Okay, so let's just pause here. I'm going to get to. So I'm going to play in Portuguese and translate to you. Okay. So, because this is the part where they talk about what he talks about the weird coincidence where Trump told a Brazilian journalist something was going to happen. A prisão de Jair, que ocorreu de maneira estranhamente discreta. So the arrest of Bolsonaro is something that happened in a very discreet fashion. Está cercada de coincidências esquisitas. Is surrounded by odd coincidences. For example, hours before the ankle bracelet was violated, was tampered with, suggesting an attempt to escape. Donald Trump went to a Brazilian journalist and promised great news from Brazil for Saturday. So this is the woman that was in the White House, the Brazilian journalist, and she's now telling the story. The big one tomorrow, ou seja, a grande. Just rápido, ele disse, the big one tomorrow. He said it very quickly, the big one tomorrow. Ou seja, a grande notícia amanhã. In other words, the big news tomorrow. Eu queria saber mais. Of course, I wanted to find out more. And so I said, Mr. President, what great news? What's going to happen tomorrow? And then he just said, I have to go. Good night. Closed the door and left. Didn't answer any more questions. And so this created further expectations or more news. And then here is the Brazilian headline. Trump won when he found out that Bolsonaro had been arrested. He said, this is really bad. While chatting with the press this Saturday, American president did not want to get further into it as he was asked about the news. Okay, so this is the parts. Okay, I have to share all of this with you because I find it very interesting. Okay, I think so. The other thing that you guys don't know is that this. So Bannon, you may or may not know this, was very involved in getting Bolsonaro elected. Bolsonaro's son has a what's it called? He's a refugee, I think, in the U.S. now. He is, I think, right, something like that. I think he was, or he is. One of his sons. They have several sons, and so like, I find it's very interesting, all of this. So okay. So my question is, so you know the thing about Venezuela, right? So Brazil. Let me just maybe get a map out. Just 1 second. So this is the map of South America, okay, and we know that Trump over here on the very top left is Venezuela. And he's been meddling over there. Okay. And Brazil, you see how huge Brazil is here. It takes up, I think, the majority of the South American territory. And the red thing is where the Brazilian, like the equivalent of Washington, D.C., that's where Bolsonaro is arrested. Okay. So we know, as I said before, that Trump had, I think, honestly, if his world, if he got what he wanted, I can totally see Trump wanting to do do a coup in Brazil, which he tried to do. This is what Bolsonaro is. I'm not saying that we don't know the degree of Trump's interference, right? Or like or how much he wanted to remove the current president, right? But I could totally see that being a goal, because why would he know of that, right? Why would he know that Bolsonaro is trying to escape? Because likely Bolsonaro would try to flee to a country that is friendly to him. Okay. So, and here, by the way, I'm from Rio, and so is Bolsonaro, from the same city. Okay. So this is the story. All right. So now that we have explained and we have seen everything, let's look at the story. So what's up with Bolsonaro's arrest? Did Trump know Bolsonaro was going to try to escape jail? Just a refresher again, the reason why he was arrested was because he had tampered with his ankle monitor and he was caught, right? And then I showed you guys that Trump made a comment to a Brazilian journalist. There will be big news today. So, okay, so let me ask, what's up with his arrest? That's right. It's saying it's very important for Brazil to arrest him because he's a symbol of corruption and also foreign influence. Because he is, and by the way, Bolsonaro is known as being a puppet and not being very bright. very similar figure to Trump, but and this is a whole long story, but he's involved in criminal in organized crime, basically. Long story. So, okay, so yeah, he's going to stay. He's going to. That's right, and that's right. So, what is the story? Wow, 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 wow. I'm seriously seeing here that there was a plan. I don't know what some kind of. Okay, I am just have to tell you this that he was helping. I don't think he could have sent people over there too, because I see these like airplanes and like there was a group, a team ready to take to kind of like put him in some airplane or helicopter, whatever, try to get him out of Brazil. And I think there may have been Americans involved. I wouldn't, because why would Trump know that? Right? I mean, other than, yes, intelligence agencies would have told him that because if there was information, like if there was intelligence, but it was just the way he said it. It was just too specific. The way that the journalists, what was said was just, and what I'm picking up here is that in fact he would have helped him escape to a friendly country, and that it would not have been the U.S. at first. Wow, it was another, is it some sort of Caribbean place? I don't know exactly, but wow, 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 wow. So. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so let me see the cards here. So did Trump, what did he know? When did he know it? I'm talking about Trump, right? And was the US involved? Okay. Okay, so let's ask. So what did, that's right. No, I see that the son, there's a son that is close to the US and he was talking to people about it. Yes. And they were updating the White House on it. That's what I'm understanding. Not the intelligence. No, it's saying directly the White House. Because if he That's right. It's like chaos. They want to create more chaos. Let's just say here. So let's see. What did Trump know? When did he know it? And what was the plan? And then was Trump involved in an escape plan? Okay, so let's see here. All right. It's my scarf over there. I have no ideas for this. Focus. Worry. Oh, wow. Things fell apart. That's right. So So this card here is Eight of Pentacles. It means focusing on work, on a project, a task. This is really worried, but if it's upside down, it means removing the worry. But the Tower suggests that everything went wrong. Okay, because right, that's what the Tower is. Tower upside down. Okay. Wow. So okay, was what did Trump know? When did he know it? Okay, what did he know? Again, and I should ask a separate question about if he was involved, but what did he know? When did he know it? Here is C, money, right? Fortune, letter, house. And immediately, guys, I get that this fortune letter, it's like it's cryptocurrency that was sent to them or meant to help. Now, the house, just 1 second, the house here could be the White House or could be the house where Bolsonaro was. Where he was in, home detainment or whatever you call it. Okay. So cloud. This means doubt and also behind the clouds. Now, this is a card of stars. Starlink could be that there's some sort of like, honestly, like a server or something like this, the man. Okay, so let's see. Could be that it was sent through clouds, right? The information, satellite and cloud. This is how the information could have been conveyed. Working. Wow, no, Gotham ends in prison. Oh no, no more working for. No, I was not working for him. No more. No. Oh, I was working. Or like, I'm told as well. I'm told as well. Oh, I'm told as well. Yeah. Oh no, this is prison. Oh, didn't work. No, so it's honestly the cards do suggest that whatever work was happening, coffin came for him. Coffin prison came for him. Coffin prison, coffin prison came for him. Coffin prison, huh? Huh? Okay. So now let me ask the specific question of was Trump involved in an escape plan? Trump meaning his administration, right? Or was it just something that they were told about? Does it make sense? Because why would Trump know unless does it make sense? I think yes, I definitely think so. But let's see what the cards say. So was Trump involved in the escape plan? Oh, okay. Oh, justice. Interesting. So uh this means the alliances were falling apart, not celebrating now justice. It's something legal. Let's see. Was he involved? The question is, oh no, here, remember the death card? Death of a friend. Hope. Death of hope for him is crying. Okay, here is invitation. Invitation. Wow, this is a card of transfer, or this is also a card of flight, like flight, because it's the migration bird. So here is, okay, invitation to travel. This is a snake. This is also a card for spies. So let's see. Again, oh, interesting. Now, this is actually, you see, it's the same. This is interesting because this is, let me show you this. A different card system. This is Lenormand and this is Skipper, right? It's totally different. But this one means there's a card in Lenormand that's the 17, that's Stork, and it means change, migration, transfers. And this is a card that is a child, different meaning, but the child is sitting on the stork, which it tends to be also symbol of pregnancy. But I find it interesting that like whenever you see these repeated symbols, to me that means that there's greater significance. Okay. All right. So okay, real worry. Okay, about a deal. So the question, go back to the question. Now there's something here ends. Something happened with a deal. Not celebrating the friend, like worried about the friend transfer or flight. Here is justice, hope, spy, deal. Okay. So, okay, so they're saying here um, that it didn't like that there was some support. Okay, there was some support for the escape plan. The US didn't necessarily like what is it called? It's like tell me more about it. How did it logistics support. Okay, so they knew, yes. And it's saying maybe, oh wow, Brazil may make some arrests of Americans who might be involved in this. It's interesting. By the way, guys, you may or may not know this, that Brazil had a military dictatorship that was uh, instigated by the US in the 60s. Okay, so this time is different because I don't think, I mean, this is very different from, the dictatorship. It's saying, no, but so he's arrested because he tried to do a coup. Bolsonaro, right? He was condemned and he's supposed to start serving the sentence for 27 years. But what I mean to say is that, so does it make sense? So it's important, I think, for Brazilian history that the history does not repeat itself and the American influence is limited. Okay. So it's just very interesting that Trump was caught. So I think is it bad for, yes, it's bad for Trump is worried because it's yet another sign that things didn't work out. And by the way, the same judge who stopped, like who arrested Bolsonaro before he could try to flee. Like once the police realized he was meddling, he was trying to tampered with. He had tampered with the income bracelet. Um, is the same that was the one after Elon Musk. So Elon Musk must be upset about it. Uh, uh-huh. So, so let me just ask about Elon Musk. What is Elon Musk thinking right now? How this? So, how does Elon feel about Bolsonaro's arrest? He's annoyed because they are failing. Although I feel like he's more these days is a bit more focused on other issues. There was a time where he was really fighting with this Brazilian judge, but now he's just sort of angry because it's a sign that their plans are not working. Okay. And for some reason, I feel like it's saying this is a bad omen for their attempts at Venezuela, right? So, okay. All right. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Okay. Okay. Bye.